Now we're going to go to best games of the decade.
Okay.
And Seth, you're number one.
Clemson, Alabama. Really the beginning of Clemson's ascension, which had been coming for the last few years because they played so well in the prior one when they lost to Alabama.
Yes.
And Deshaun Watson, and now with Chicago, the Bears look back and say, good Lord. What?
And they traded up, too.
To get him.
For Trubisky.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, we're sorry to digress, but...
And what a phenomenal game. And you've had two great games. The third one, Clemson in 2018, absolutely blew them out of the water. And we'll see. Alabama's not making it this year, obviously.
Yeah,
but Clemson is the most underrated 3 seed you'll ever see.
And guess what? And like Dabo Swinney said, he made a good point. How can you take a team that's undefeated and was number 1, and then they're number 3?
Because they beat no one this year. The ACC's
still,
terrible.
but I'm sorry. When you lose, that's when you go down.
But the preseason doesn't mean anything. LSU's been better throughout the year. Ohio State's been better throughout the year. Now we'll see.
I hate both teams.
Well, that's different. I'm still waiting for Mike Loxley to bring my team to Big Ten East prominence. I got a long wait ahead of me.
Right. But I have my number 1. Chicago Cubs over the Cleveland Indians, 2016 World Series. Of course, the Cubs haven't won since 1908. They do it. They had the lead, gave up a game-tying home run in the bottom of the 8th, and it was something that then they finally won in extra innings.
Rajai Davis.
So Rajai Davis hit the home run, to tie it up. Then they won, and then, Chapman was almost the GOAT, pretty much, but they took care of it, and it was 2 great teams. And the Cubs were a very good team.
Both teams were very,
and the Cubs had a 3-1 lead. They almost blew it,
I'm really surprised, and I guess it kind of is an attestament.
3-1 lead overall in the series, and then Cleveland tied it, and then the Cubs won on the road. Game 7.
I'm surprised that Cleveland team had never went back. Now, again, the Red Sox in 18 were a borderline all-time great team. The Astros have been borderline all-time great teams. Could be all-time great teams. And even the Yankees have been extraordinarily good the last 3 years, although they haven't made the World Series. Those 4 teams, what an era for American League Baseball.
Oh, no question. Oh, my God. And then in the National League, you have the Cubs and Dodgers. Basically, that's it.
Well, the Cubs have been, the last couple of years, the Cubs peaked at that 16, and it's just been a progressive downhill.
Well, they've been contenders every year, and stuff. So,
but now Joe Maddon's gone. Like Chris Bryant's going to be.
And then the Dodgers have won, 7 straight NL West titles?
Probably something like that.
That's an amazing run, so.
My number 2.
Yes.
Djokovic, Federer.
I have the same in number 2, Wimbledon final this year,
final.
2019.
When we did this 10 years ago, I believe the number 1, and I could be wrong, was
I think
Federer,
for me was Nadal Federer. 2008 Wimbledon final.
And Djokovic, Federer this year was absolutely sensational.
11 years later,
It's amazing. These 3 guys, it just keeps going and going and going. And
only 4 Grand Slams those guys have not won.
Well, it's
Andy
Murray.
Andy Murray won 2. Stan Wawrinka won 2, I think.
I think you're wrong. I think Murray plus the big 3.
No, Murray's won 2.
Okay.
Wawrinka's won 2.
That's it?
Someone else won. Del Potro too.
He may have won in 09.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I have to look that up. But
regardless.
But basically, that's what I mean. Like, how many? 40 Grand Slam tournaments, and they've won 34 of them.
Yeah,
like
it's absurd.
Yeah.
He's been Djokovic in my mind. When we get to the top best players, I already got yelled at that I don't have Federer in my top 10. To me, Djokovic is the player of the year, player of the decade.
There's no question. And Nadal is even over Federer.
Nadal's the number 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what an amazing game that just went on and on and on.
Wow, amazing. And then I have 2010 Winter Olympics gold medal game, ice hockey, Canada over the U.S. Sidney Crosby with that winner. And that game winner. And Sidney Crosby, arguably, probably the best hockey player of the decade. Him and Ovechkin, between them. But him and Alex Ovechkin. But Crosby winning that, and that was tough because the USA, Canada is always the best team. They're always the best team going in, and the USA played so great in those
Zach
Olympics.
Parise tied it with a couple minutes, right before the end.
That's right.
They had an amazing move that Crosby put on Ryan Miller to put in the corner as kind of a no-angle shot. And
then my number 5, Villanova Wildcats over North Carolina Tar Heels 2016.
Anything where North Carolina loses brings a smile.
Oh, for sure. And they're out of the top 25 now.
I know. They don't got much left.
That's right. Poor
left.
Cole Anthony, man. Cole Anthony may have to sit out and wait for the draft, you know?
He's pulling Darius Garland?
Maybe, you know? but the Wildcats over the top. I mean, the Chris Jenkins game-winning shot. And that play was drawn up to perfection. And that was
the coolest part about that was watching Jay Wright's reaction.
Right there, that little
it was
dump
beautiful.
off, yeah.
But watching Jay Wright's reaction,
he knew it.
He knew it and his facial reaction didn't move.
That's right.
It was great.
Yeah, exactly.
I have that when we talk about best moments. That's right there. The one baseball game I do want to bring up.
Yes.
Texas, St. Louis, 2011 Game 6, the David Freese game.
And Texas had it.
They had it.
Ron Washington almost led them.
And Nelson, they hit the triple off of Nelson Cruz's. They should have caught.
He should have caught. And he had a great. He was going to be World Series MVP.
Then Freese comes back and hits a home run in the bottom of the 11th.
Probably the greatest postseason in baseball history.
It's
David Freese, because he won the NL MVP, NLCS MVP, and the World Series MVP.
And that was, and he peaked at about 20, and that was the peak.
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
And he just retired.
And he retired.
Did he just retire?
He retired.
He's not going. I guess most players don't really get that high anyway, so that's not a bad peak to go out on.
Well, yeah, we never forget Dave Freese, no doubt. And New England, my honorable mention, New England over Atlanta, Super Bowl 51. We all know what happened. Atlanta had a 27-3 lead. And then the Patriots
They blew it.
You know, and the Patriots.
All credits to New England.
And all credit to them because they knew what they were doing. They were working that front seven. They were working the linebackers especially. That was a young Atlanta Falcons team. And they just got gassed.
And they've never recovered.
Yeah, never as a franchise. Dan Quinn most likely will be fired. Even though they did play their butts off and they beat San Francisco recently. Right. You know, they did, but...
They're never going to recover, unfortunately, with this era. And between Freeman is old, Jones is phenomenal, but he's...
And then Keanu Neal, we don't know if he's going to come back.
Deion Jones is
hurt. Grady Jarrett's going to leave. Grady Jarrett's a free agent, I believe.
And Matt Ryan, has a $30 million a year contract. He's a great. I mean, they're good players.
And Julio too has a big contract.
Exactly, which he just signed. So their salary cap Hungstrung told them that we do this in 10 years from now.
Right.
The only other game I want to bring up quickly, just because it was such an amazing, was the Wichita State Kentucky game in 2014.
Yes, I was thinking
Wichita
about that.
State was the 1 seed. It was 34-0. And Kentucky was an 8 seed, which was utterly ridiculous to anyone who follows college basketball.
Julius Randle and the Harrison brothers.
And Kentucky beat them 76-74 in a classic
That was classic. And Wichita State, they would have had a murderous run if they. And then Kentucky ended up making the Final Four. So Wichita State had nothing to be ashamed about.
No,
for sure.
And Greg Marshall, had every right to be pissed about
one
that
of the
being
top 5 coaches of this decade in college basketball. Yeah.